time, what will happen? It will load the same data again. Is it true or not? If you are running, okay, means what? It will take the data, it will extract the data and load the same data again. But if the destination table doesn't take the repeated values, then what will happen? Are you telling to overwrite? There is nothing called overwriting in the database. Overwriting is there in the Excel files, overwriting will be there in the text files, but there is no overwriting in a database. Okay, once the row is there, either you should delete the row and insert it again, or truncate it or insert it again, or else there is nothing called overwriting in a database tables. Okay? Text files, yes, you saw the overwriting. Same text file will be overwriting. Okay, but in the database, that's what I'm telling you. There is no overwriting in a database tables. Exactly. Then see here, I already loaded some data, 50 rows have been moved into the destination. I can go back and check in the table how many rows were moved. Which database? Okay, OLEDB destination 2. Okay, I have 50 rows. How many? 50 rows are there. You can see here. Okay, in the bottom right hand corner. 50 rows are made. If I am running this package again, then what will happen? What will happen? Again, some more 50 rows. Okay, if I am executing this one again, I will get 100. If I am running one more time, what will happen? But is that my purpose? If that is my purpose, then what do I need to do? Always I need to have, if at all any extra row is adding, that row only move, or else I need. Then what do you need to do? Okay. Then what I will do is that my purpose is that before loading every time, I want to make sure that the table should be empty. I want to make sure that the table should be empty. Then how can I make the table empty? How can I make table empty? Then I need to use the truncate statement. Then truncate SQL query. Then which program I need to use the SQL query? Then do I need to use before this all this task or after this task? Where do I need to use? Before this means what? I need to go to the data flow task. Okay. Then either I need to clear up the table before this task or I need to clear up the table after this task. One second, guys. Yeah. Okay. After this task. Then when you want me to do? After this task means what? Then people cannot view it. Okay. Then immediately after this task, the data will be done. Now before this task, okay, then what I will do? Before this task, I need to do it. Then right now I am in the control flow task, control flow area. Okay, then I need to check, okay, which control flow program or which control flow task helps me to clean up the table. Then I need to write what? One SQL statement I need to execute. What is that SQL statement? Truncate table name. Okay, now tell me which SQL statement. Then there is a task called execute SQL task. Okay, execute SQL task. Consider that then before the task. Now start configuring the task. Then where we are going to write the SQL query? Now this is the execute SQL task editor. Now in the editor, in the general properties, you will have all this. The connection type is going to be the OLEDB. The connection. Now I need to make the connection here. What is that connection? I can name the task as truncating what is that? Source table or destination table, sorry. Okay, I forgot. Okay, truncating the destination table. If I'm truncating the source table, how do I get the values? Okay, now next connection. Then I need to give the connection to it. What type of connection? The table. Then can I use the same connection here? Already I have the database connection, no? See, there is a CL training VHM new connection is there. Can I use that? Or cannot? Okay, then I can use the same connection. I need a database connection, no? Then already I created a database connection for destination. Can I use that connection? Yes, definitely. One connection you can use 100 times. Okay, because within the package, I'm telling you. Now, then what kind of source type is direct input? Yes, you are putting the direct input. Then SQL statement, right? What SQL statement I need to write? Truncate table. What is the table name? Then make it bigger, the screen. What is the table name? OLEDB destination 1. If the spaces are there, use the square bracket. Okay? Then you should not use the normal spaces. If the spaces are there between the text, then you should use what? Square bracket. Okay? Truncate table, OLEDB destination. Then you write, are you sure that this query is going to work? What happens if the query doesn't work? How can I make sure? Then I have the build query option here. Okay? Then I can make sure whatever the query I wrote is perfect. Okay? Then there is a syntax errors are there. Okay? Then I need to make sure the syntax error. Run the query means what? Already it will be truncating. Then I need to verify the SQL. Means what? Is that my query is right or not? See. Verified again is the data source. Good. Done. Okay. Now, what happens if the query makes false? Then what you want to do? Empty table, but there is some problem in the query. You need to skip it. No. Then there is an option called bypass prepare is true. Means what? If there is a problem, bypass the query. Then what do you need to do? Make it. Means what? If you want to parse a query, okay, parse and query means what? If they're true, then means what? If there is some problem, the query will bypass. Okay, then make it as false. Then you can make sure the query is yes, parsed correctly. Parsed means what? Syntax is right. Though I'm not checking about whether the query works on the database or not. Syntax is right. Here, I don't have the window, no? Query, and there I can get red color, black line, and all these things. I need to write query manually. Now, click it on OK. If this query needs any parameters, yes, I can use the parameters. Okay, right now my query doesn't need any parameter. Click it on OK. The parameter same works as same thing as data sets. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm truncating the table, then I'm executing. Now I'll execute it. Done. Okay, you can open it. 50 rows are moved successfully. Now, then if I'm running 100 times, what will happen? Okay, then if it is truncating means what? I planned it before. I means what? This task I can use same way wherever I can use, but I planned before loading. The table has to truncate the existing value, then load the new value. Table has to truncate the existing value, then load the new value. Okay, that I did it here. Now I can use that. Like that, we have lot of tasks are there. For loop and for each loop, you already used it. Why we need? There are sequence and for each loop, and there is a containers are there. Why do we need to use these containers? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll say. Okay, why we need to use all these containers? Container means what? If you want to run the bunch of tasks together, okay, and you want to consider the entire result as single result, then you need to run those tasks as in the container. Means what? If I want to run these two tasks together, then I need to put it in the container. Okay, means what? These two tasks execute. Then sequence container means what? It will make sure all the tasks runs one by one. That's container is nothing but single box. Okay, then you can include these tasks here in the containers. Okay, if you have 20 different tasks, sorry. Okay, see now entire result of this task I can consider as container result. If you have 20 different tasks, I can differentiate two tasks. Okay, like that I can easily differentiate, or I can use the which is the combination of tasks should run together, and after that which combination, like this is the same thing like writing A plus B plus C plus D. Then what is the difference between, like, let me write. Okay, here you have two tasks. If your package is having the 5 different tasks, then if you are running this task, can it be run? You are not connecting any task to any task. Yes, you can run. If you all are control flow tasks, yes, you can run. But what will happen? All programs run simultaneously. All programs run simultaneously. Then I want to run these two tasks simultaneously and these two tasks simultaneously. Then after these two tasks completed simultaneously, then connect this, then connect this. There might be some purpose. Or else inside this, first complete this. Once these two are completed, then go this. Then what are the benefits of? Then I can use these two as sequence containers. Sequence container 1, sequence container 2. Then what is the benefit I'm going to get here? There is no other configuration you should do in the sequence container. Nothing, no other configurations. That's it. Order of running the tasks. Okay, I can make sure which one should run first, which one should run next. Okay. Then if I'm running the multiple tasks, then sequence container will be helping me. Okay. For example, if I'm running continuously, if at all one of the tasks give the error, okay, I can stop entire container. Entire container. Not only 2, I can put 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can stop entire container. Okay, like the container, you can use it for the purpose. If you are using multiple tasks, some of the tasks should run together, then before the another bunch of tasks runs, then it will be very useful when you are moving the data from various different sources and putting into the one single destination. And before that, if you are using any staging area, then use the containers to order of your programs. Okay, ordering of your programs. See here, if I am running, what will happen? No change. The container result is true, then I can connect. Once a container gets the proper result, then I can connect. Because I'm not connecting to this execute SQL task. I am continuing through the container. The container gives what? Entire results of these two tasks. Okay? Then that will hold the result, then I can go back. Okay? Then that is the purpose. Like that for loop and for each loop. For loop means what? If I want to repeat this until one condition, then I can use for loop. For each loop means what? For each instant, if I want to repeat, then I can use the for each loop. For loop means what? One condition, repeat it. For each loop means what? For each instance of condition, use it. Okay? Then already you use the for each loop. Okay? Now next, there is an ActiveX script task is there. If I want to run some particular script, like that you're using some website, if I'm connecting to WebEx, what is that happening? In the browser, it is installing some simple ActiveX control. Okay, like if you are using TeamViewer, it is the browser is installing some ActiveX control. Means what, some extra script is running on the task. Like that, there is some situation to get the data from some table, you need to run some script. Either it is a JavaScript, C# script, VB script. Then you can use this ActiveX script task either before or after. Okay, here there is an option of running the script, ActiveX script, then write the actual script. Tell me which type of script you are writing. You can use JavaScript, VB script, JavaScript compact means mobiles, and JavaScript language, JHAT scripts. You can use any script. What is the purpose of writing scripts? Some extra security or extra layer, some funny functionality, validations, anything. Anybody knows here JavaScript, VB script? Okay, but I don't want to start teaching the JavaScript right now. It will take too much time, any script. Okay, if we have the time, I'll show you some sample script end of the session. Okay, then if you know that already, if somebody gave you that, because this is actually programming language, you need to understand what is variable, what is, okay, libraries and everything. Okay, now if you are having some existing script, you will get some online scripts also. Okay, then you can use that script before or after for whatever the purpose. For example, for extra security. Okay, for adding some more special values. Anything you can use the JavaScript, ActiveX script language. Okay, then you can use that ActiveX script. If you are solely going as a SQL Server developer, then the developers, application developers will give you the script task to you. Okay, then you can use those things before or after. Now, and there are some analysis services tasks are there. I'll explain you after we run. Okay, after we learn about the SSAS. Okay, and there is some bulk insert task. This is a really confusing task, and don't confuse with the bulk insert task with the bulk insert program or bulk copy program. There is a BCP, bulk copy program, and there is a bulk insert task. Okay, this bulk insert means what? There is a data I can use. I can use bulk values from a file to the table. That's what I did it here in the data flow. I can do. Okay, but I can apply. But I don't need to do any transformation. I need to insert the bulk data from a file to a table. Then I can use bulk insert. But only the thing is that the structure of the file 100% matches with your table. Then I can use this bulk insert. Instead of using data flow, I can use bulk insert task. I can configure from which file I'm using it. The connection manager. Connection, make the connection, whatever the connection, destination table, give the connection to the destination table. See, destination, first you need to do the destination connection where you are loading the destination table, whatever it is. Let me do, what is that? Yesterday we did it. Excel projects. Okay, format, then give the file connection.
What's the difference from that before?
Good question. Yes, it is actually work as an import and export also, but import export you have the option of creating a table on the run. Okay, and matching the columns, matching the values. Here it doesn't have anything. Blank. Take it and load it. Take it and load it. Import export you have the mapping columns you have. Even you are taking from Excel file, you can map the columns. Okay, you can read it, but here doesn't have. Bulk insert only works when you have the file data, load it 100%. You want to make sure that the data is perfect. Then you can do that. For example, I'm connecting to the same Excel file. Okay, then options. Okay, most of the time if I'm using the Excel file, here it doesn't ask me that from which table. Which table. Okay, then options are there. Then sort data, check constraint, FA constraint, data file type. Just you can use only one data type. Code page is raw format. When you don't understand anything, then you can use any expressions. Nothing is there, then you can use. Then what it will take? It will take from the first sheet. It will take it from the first sheet. If it is valid, it will take it. If it is not valid, just throw it. Okay, then it will load the data, execute it. Are you going? Is it going to happen? It is doing checking. That's wrong. Go with that error. It fails. Okay, the data type is not matching. Then when you should use the bulk insert task? When exactly the values are matches, the values are there in the file, exactly matches with the table. Then here, if it is not matching, then what you need to do? Then use the data flow task. There you have the mapping options. There you have the conversion options. Okay. Instead of that, if everything is matching, instead of data flow task is a little bit risky and heavy. Okay. You need to connect the source, connect the destination, map it, and everything. Here, man, everything is matching. Why do you need to do all those things? do it. Simply it will take the bulk data, not row by row, entire data as a bunch and load it into the destination like a snapshot. Okay, it will very helpful when you are exactly matching this transformation, or this task runs very fast. Okay, if it is successful, it will run very quickly because it is taking the entire data as a snapshot and putting it to the destination as a snapshot, not row by row. Okay. Next. Okay, data mining I'll explain you, data profiling also I'll explain you when you are running it. Now, we are already discovered. For example, when we are using the SQL Server 2008 or 2008 R2, but our company has already developed some DTS packages in the past. Okay, then what? Are you going to use it? The DTS package is loading the data from some location to some location. Already it's doing some program. But if I want to use that entire, I don't want to redo that all those everything in the SSIS, but I want to use as it is the DTS here. Then I can use execute DTS packages. Then wherever you store the package in your system, connect it. Okay. Yeah, I need to install some extension file. Okay, in the 2000 for the 2000. I don't think it is not available. This I'm keep on searching. Okay, backward compatibility file. Okay, I need to install. Then I can search that DTS file. Just give the connection. No more things. Give the connection of existing DTS files to this execute file. Okay, this is things you can remember when you're asking, when you're calling. I told you, no, I can use the existing DTS packages which developed in the earlier version of SQL Server directly in the current version. I don't need to migrate, I don't need to import, or I don't need to redo it. I can use as it is DTS package. I don't need to migrate or anything. I can use directly here. Using the execute DTS 2000 package, only the configuration you should do is you need to give the path of the .dts file. Okay? And what is the extension for the SSIS package? .dtsx. Now here you need to give the path of .dts file to connect. Okay? Now, then can I use one I already developed SSIS package with in the another SSIS package? Forget about the previous DTS package. Current, somebody developed in 2005, somebody developed in 2008. Still that is SSIS package, you know. Can I use that existing SSIS package in another package? Yes, I can use. Okay, then execute package task is there. This package task is that you can use one already developed SSIS package. Means what? Connect the existing DTS package, DTSX package. Create a new connection. Sorry, you need to know location, the file system. I'll tell you one thing about this. Okay, when you are developing any SSIS package where you can save that package, there are two different or three different ways to store the package. Two locations. Right now, where we are storing that package, when you are creating, we are storing the package in the file system. Okay, then where is that file system? Documents, Visual Studio 2008. Projects. Is it first ETL or first SSIS? First SSIS. Here is our package. Means what? Where we are storing? We are storing in the file system. Then, can we store this package in the database? Can we store this package in the database? Yes, we can store this package in the database too. How we can store? How we can store? Then go to your management studio, connect it to your SQL Server integration services. Then you have running packages and stored packages are there. Okay, open the stored packages. Okay, there are running means for currently running packages. Then open the stored packages. Okay, there are file system and MSDB packages are there. Okay, then open any packages are there in the MSDB. means what? Microsoft default database. That is the default storage. There are two packages are there. Okay. And file system packages, one package is there. Okay. Then you can directly connect. But if at all some packages are not displaying here, because it will display, then I can move the file system packages into the MSDB. Simply I can import the packages. Simply I can import the file system packages to MSDB. MSDB means what? The package store along with the database. MSDB in the database system. Okay? In the database system, so that when I'm taking the backup and restore of entire system, along with that the packages also comes. Okay, or else I am moving the entire MDF and LDF file, the packages also comes along with the database. But when I'm storing in the file system, when I'm moving the database to one location to another location, does the packages come along with it? No, they're stored in the file system, no? Then you need to move along. How to move it? Yes, I will explain. Okay, we'll work on that, deploying the packages and installing the packages. Now here, then you need to tell where is the package is stored. Right now my package is stored in the file system. Select the file system and the connection to the file system means what? Connect. Where is the browser? Where is the package is there? Documents, Visual Studio 2008, projects. Let me connect to the another ETL package. One package. I don't know whether it works or not. Previous. Okay, I'm executing that package along with current package. Okay. Now the package, if at all any passwords are there, then there is no password, then I'm executing. Now one ready-made means what? Already prepared exercise package along with this package. Run it. It is running successfully, that's okay. If it is giving any error, let us see. See. That package is having one data flow task, one execute SQL task. Some of the tasks are there. It's successfully run. There is a XML source moving the data from XML to destination. I made it previously. Okay. Then that is automatically run along with this package. See how many packages run together? Two packages. When you can use these things? When you can use these things? Running the one package in along with another package. When there is the same transaction or same moving you need to use, okay, for example, when you are loading the data from Excel sheet to the table, okay, and there is one more task is called after moving into the table, then you need to continue that transaction to the further. Then what you need to, you already have one package made for moving the data from Excel sheet to the table. Then do you need to create again? No, I can use this package as it is in the other package. Then after moving into the table, then I can do another transaction. Okay, like that I can simplify. Then when you are using one package in the other package, this package is going to called as child package, and this entire package is called as what? Parent package. Okay, this package is called as what? Child package. This package is because when you execute this package along with this package also, one more package executes, no? That is called, this is child package and this one is parent package. Child, parent child, child, children, kid, okay? Child package. Okay, then this is called as parent package. Okay, then if I'm storing this package means what? Along with this package is also saves. Now,
That means there's package coming with SQL servers.
yes,
Do something.
yes.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in the main package, that will affect on the child package too. Because you are creating, instead of creating one big package with the 200 tasks, you are creating 5 small packages and putting it subfolders and folders.
I need template package that's coming with template
Exactly.
package, and you can use it
Anytime. Anytime. Okay, you can use it also. You can create one template packages and wherever it is needed, you can use it. To simplify your package development. Purpose, simplify your package development. Quickly complete your package development where you are assuming that this process will be utilized multiple times in your package development. Instead of creating every time, use it, create. Okay, then you can use it. Now that is what execute package utility. Okay. Now, that is what execute package utility means. What you can execute the existing SSIS package, or execute DTS package means what you can execute DTS created in 2000 version. Somebody is asking, I need to run one file, means what, one process or one batch command or one exe file before executing this package. Means what? Okay, data is stored in the database, but to connect the database, I need to run one exclusive security application. One exclusive security application. Or else the data is stored in the cloud. To connect to the cloud, you need to run one exclusive application, one exe file, one command file, one batch file before running it. Then what you need to do? Without running it, you cannot open the database, no? Then what you need to do? There is one task called execute process task. Execute process task. Process means what? Either you can run one exe file, or you can run one command file, or you can run one SQL file, anything that executable file. Executable file. For security purpose, they might run one exclusive application to enter into the system, or you need to run fingerprinting. Okay, then before running this task, it should display the fingerprinting screen. Use the fingerprinting, then the task will run. Okay, or before getting the data from the connecting to the database server, you need to use one electronic device to enter the code. It should display the screen and run it. Okay, like that. When you are subscribing any online video services, okay, while browsing, you can browse all the videos. But when you want to play, it will immediately display one login pop-up. Means what? To run that video, you need to enter this one. Like that, to get the data from source, you need to enter this information. Or else one exclusive application you can run. Here, executive process task is also like that. Just you need to connect, you need to connect one exe file. See this process, just connect the executables, give the executables wherever you stored, either exe files, .com files, batch files, or command files. Let us connect one exe file. Okay, what is the basic exe file? Like notepad.exe or calculator.exe. Okay, my computer has some of the exe files, calc.exe. Okay, wherever it is stored, where are those files stored? C programs, Windows. Where is those? System 32 or system 32? Yes, calc.exe. One exe file I want to run before that. Okay. Okay. Then when am I executing this package, what will happen? One calculator will pop up. Okay. Then it will go for, see, calculator will pop up. Once you enter something like one code pop up. Okay. Then enter something and close it. Then it will continue. Or one timer. Okay. Timer will pop up after 5 minutes. Then go ahead. Or one exclusive password, or opening the gateway, anything, or VPN, one VPN client. To connect the database, you should open the VPN. There might be the requirement, no? Then open the VPN client, then enter the username and password, then go to that. Okay, you can use that execute process task. There you can connect all ready-made executable files. You don't need to develop it. Even your application developers or anything developing that exe file giving to you, just connect it. Your job is to what? Connect that executable. Okay. That is execute process task. Now, there is one. After loading into the Excel file, somebody is saying that one. Okay, loading the data from taking the data from Excel file and loading it. And next time, somebody is going to update that Excel file with the new data. Is it mandatory then they are going to use the same name? Then what? Every time they are copying it, what will happen? When you are replacing the Excel file, either overwrite or you need to delete. Yeah. Instead of doing that one, let me take a backup of that Excel file in the other location. That is my requirement. Or else delete the file from original location. Keep that folder always empty. Then somebody is going to put the Excel file, then run the package, take the data, and somebody is going to put the file again, take the data. It means what? I need to do some more thing either after loading the data, Either I need to rename that Excel file, or I need to delete that Excel file, or I need to copy that Excel file in the different folder for backup purpose. Okay, then anybody is asked that, okay, what was the data we loaded on that day? Because the new data loaded, we forgot what exactly the data we loaded on that particular day. Then what we need to do? We need to take a copy of that Excel file and doing that. What is this? Copying a file, deleting a file. Those are regular file system operations, no? Our C drive, D drive operation, create a folder and delete a file, everything, no? Then what you need to do? Can we do all this along with this moving? Yes, using the file system task. Using what? File system task. Let us take, we are loading the data from this product info, no? Let us move the table into this FT folder. After loading the data, let us move this product info table in Excel file into FT table. Okay, let us do it. Then after moving means what? After this task. Okay, take file system task. File system task means what? That should be in the local connectable computer. Okay, not even in the network computer. File system. Now edit. Then there is things are there. What you want to do? Okay, the destination connection, source connection is there. Let us see. But before that, the operation. What type of operation you want to do? You can do the copy files. You can do the move files. You can do the copy directory, create directory, delete directory file, delete a file, move a directory, move a file, rename a file, set attributes. Set attributes means what? Values. Okay, you can do all these operations. Let us copy the file. Copy file where? Destination. Create a new destination, browse, which folder? Desktop. The FT folder, let us take FT. Okay, then FT as, copy as what? New dot XLS. Okay, wait a minute. No, I'm using copy, no? Okay. When I'm copying the Excel file means what? One sheet will be copied. We are loading the data from one sheet, no? Then it will ask that copy file should be in the one. Okay, let us create one Excel file here. Means what? It is not text file. Entire file should be copied. It is Excel file. Then what I'll do? Let me create new Excel file. Okay. Then destination. Is destination path is a variable? No, I'm physically giving the path. Browse existing file, or else I can use create a file. Okay, either I can use create a file or I can use existing file. Okay, let me create a file here. Where is that? FT folder, open. Okay, means what? That sheet should be created. Now next, what do you want to override destination? You want to do overwrite if that all any existing data is there? Yes, overwrite it. Okay, now copy file. Source. Now the source connection. From where to take it? New connection. Where it is? Already product info is there, no? Product info. Okay, I can use the same source. Now what I'm doing after loading the data, the file will be copied to the different location. Let us see whether it is copied or not. First task is running, first truncating the table, then loading the data. Okay, now close it. Let us see is that file is copied in the FTP or not, FT folder or not. Go to the which file we connected. The format is not matches. Let us see. Oh, not even reading. Because the format, this file is extension is what? XLS? No, product info. Where is product? Oh, it is XLS. Okay. Let's do it again by keeping the XLSX. Okay. Let's make it that FT folder name is. Delete it. New Excel sheet. Because XLS file cannot be created in the XLSX, no? Okay, any.xls. Let us do it again. Edit. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, done. Go back to the FT and check it. I got it. See, product info, sheet 1, customer, entire thing is copied here. Okay, now I can copy or I can delete or I can move, anything I can do. Okay, file system means what? Once somebody is loading the data, then I can use one more file system task and delete from that location, from the desktop. Okay, then somebody has to put the file because Excel file is normal file, no? When the data is changing means what? It is not like a table, the data is coming directly into the Excel sheet. Can you load the data directly into the Excel sheet? No, somebody has to run some process. Okay, then once either copy paste the Excel file or move the Excel file, somebody has to take it out the Excel file and load it. Then in that location, then I can keep a copy of that same Excel file in the different location. Once then I can use a file system task. Yes, good. If that Excel file is there in the local computer and the network computer, good. What happens if that file is there on the remote computer? The file is there. The file is there on the remote computer. Then how can you do that? If the local Excel file is there, then I can load the data. Okay. If that is there in the network computer also, still I can map the network mapping. Then I can load the data. But what happens if the file is there on the remote computer? How can you share the files on the remote computer? How can you share the information on the remote computer? Using the internet, web pages. But how can you share the files which are there in the remote computers? Through the internet. What is the concept you will use? Exactly, FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Okay, to share the files over the internet, we are going to use what? FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Means what? Instead of HTTP, what you are going to do? FTP : domain name. Then you will get the file structure. You will get the file structure. Then, how can you configure the FTP? How can you make your computer as a web server? Configure the IIS. Okay, whatever you keep it. Then if the IIS is there on the Internet Explorer, if I am typing, okay, localhost, okay, I can get. Even you are typing my computer name, you are going to get. If I am copying one thing, localhost and a new page, where this page is coming from? Where this information is there? Physically somewhere it has to be there, no? Where is this information? Is it coming from the internet? No, it doesn't connect to the internet, no? It is coming from my computer. If you are typing also to my computer address, you will get my computer. Then where is this information is coming from? Actually, my computer is acting as a personal web server. Okay, personal web server, where more personal web server IIS is activated. Then where exactly the folders are there? I can go to the computer C drive. There is a inet pub is there. Means what? Internet publisher is there. There is a www root is there. In the www root, the information is coming from here. IIS, Internet Information Services, like Apache, exactly, good. Apache Tomcat in the Java environment, like that in the Microsoft environment, that is same as Apache Tomcat. Okay, you can use it as a personal web server on the local computer. You can make it as a web server over the internet. Okay, I can create my computer IP as a static IP. Then anybody can browse the same page from anywhere, wherever they can. Right? If you want to create one internet website or anything, you need to enable the IIS on the server computer, make the computer enable for static IP or domain IP. Okay, then I can use. That is called, this is only to share the web application or web pages. Okay, if I'm writing, if I want to view this picture, okay, then how can I view it on the web? Then slash picture name.jpg. Then I can view that. Okay, slash, this is the IIS.html page. Then if I'm making any changes here, instead of this PNG, if I can make it this JPG, yes, just edit it in the form of notepad. Okay, there is a PNG is there, Control F, PNG. Okay, there is IIS dot. Instead of that, I'll put picture, don't tell Umesh bhai. Okay, 1, 2, 3 dot. Okay, now I'm saving it. Same IIS dot. What I mean? Oh, access they need. I need to do again. And okay, now when I'm typing IIS here, what will happen? What happened? Yes. Okay. This is, I'm sharing the internet, means what, I'm creating a web pages, website, you can do whatever. If you have the HTML knowledge, ASPX knowledge, Java knowledge, JavaScript knowledge, this is what actually happens. Now, this is only to sharing the internet information. But what happens if you want to share the files over the internet? Then there is a FTP route is there. This is WW route where you can share the HTML format. There is a FTP route is there. Then whatever you are keeping it here, that information will be shared. What do I need to do? To do this one, instead of the same thing, here I need to put, instead of HTTP, I need to put FTP. Then I'll get file structure. I didn't create it, then I can use FTP CL training. What is that? FTP colon. Yeah, there is add-ons are disabling. Okay, not a problem. Hmm?
Yeah,
It should display FTP colon / name. Not a problem. Okay, this is the FTP route. Whatever the information you kept it on this one, then if you want to connect using the FTP connection, then you need to use, before the file system, you need to open the channel using the FTP task. Okay, FTP task. What is the FTP task you need to do? You need to give the FTP path Okay, FTP connection manager and username and password. That's it. Then that folder will act as your local folder. That folder will act as your local folder. Then you can copy or you can load the data from the file which is there on the remote computer. Then you can load the data and you can do the whatever you want, just like that. This is one extra gateway, okay, to connect the file which is on the remote computer. Okay, if it is local computer, you can browse and connect it, no? But if it is in the remote computer, then what you need to know? You need to have the gateway to connect to that remote computer. That gateway is that FTP task. Here you need to give the FTP server name. Then if it is any username and password is there, give it, or else anonymous. Means what? No username and password. Okay, now that is what. Whatever you are downloading from the internet, actually they are keeping in their file folders, they are giving the FTP connections to you. When you are downloading from a lot of the software from Microsoft or anything, they are giving it from their locations. All the files will be transferred from FTP only. Okay, only the HTML pages and web application pages will be stored in the web server.
But if the computer that's in the router outside and I have a dynamic IP, how can I...
Dynamic IPs you cannot. There should be static IP. Okay, if at all you want to connect it through internet, dynamic IP, if it is there in the, how can dynamic IP is possible? If your DHCP is enabled. DHCP is enabled means what? That is possible only in the local network only. Okay, dynamic IPs work. Are you guys confusing with the dynamic IPs? In what? Every computer has an IP address that you are not manually configuring it. The server is putting the IP addresses. That is called dynamic IP, DHCP configurations. Okay, that is only possible in the local area network, not in the internet network. Internet network, you should have the static IP. Even if you are connecting to Yahoo means what? The Yahoo server is connecting to one address. Okay, see what is the IP address of Yahoo? See, you are connecting to what? 98.138.253.199. Same thing way if I am connecting to another local computer also, it will give IP. But this IP is static IP. Okay, whenever you connect it, you will get the same IP. Okay, but if I am connecting to your, dynamically it will change regularly. Okay, the IP which was assigned yesterday, it is same IP? No, that is what. Dynamically it will give the available IPs depending upon who connects first, who connects next. DHCP. Okay, then that is that. Then you need to use that static IP address for this FTP task. Okay, you need to know the FTP connection name, username and password. That's it. Then you can enter the file source connection or anything. Only the channel to open the file which is there in the remote computer. Okay, now. Yes, DHCP is enabled. Static, both static and dynamic work simultaneously. But if it is static, you cannot do the dynamic.
But then it means when you submit tasks, you assign various applications.
That is a subnet mask, and a different thing is what if you are using the multiple IP sets. Okay, if you are using single IP set, subnet mask is default. If you are using the multiple IP sets, means what you are categorizing the IP sets into the multiple purposes, then you need to use a subnet mask. You need to deliver the subnet mask. Or else, you don't need to enter. If you place the next button, automatically it will apply the default subnet mask. Okay. Now, next, I'll explain you about the message queue when we are running scheduling the packages. Okay. Now, next is script task. Oh, we already use the ActiveX script. What is script? What is the difference between ActiveX script and script? Yeah, everybody, go ahead, one by one. Okay, yes.
ActiveX script is the JavaScript script.
Okay.
This script is the table level and
No.
also the scripts like copy of
Any answers? No. You are seeing the ActiveX script and script when you are running the internet browser pages. Now, sometimes if you like run the ActiveX script. ActiveX script means what? One exclusive script, third-party script. You can take it as third-party script. Okay. Then script is what? Local script. Okay. The local script understood by the local system. Means what? When you are running a web page, does it ask you to run the script, run the script, run the script? Because when you are running any web pages, there are a lot of scripts are running. If you are running MSN, okay, lot of JavaScripts, VB scripts are these local scripts. Means what? That is understood by. That is, if I'm putting on the mouse, means what? Something is happening. Means what? That is one script is running. There is one script file is there. Okay, you can see the script file in the view source. Okay, there is a script, JavaScript or whatever the script they want to use. Okay, Perl scripts depending upon the page developed. Then that is called a local script. But if I am running something and TeamViewer, then if I want to open it, then the system will ask you, can you run this script? Okay, if I'm running, then I need to download that script.
So it's not going to write the scripts, the language that you have to say.
Exactly.
For instance, like if
Local environment understands.
right.
Instead of writing computer, local environment. Like, what is this local environment for this computer? Visual Studio. Visual Studio. Then what script it understands? VB script. That is what script is. There you have the option of selecting the script. Here you have only Visual C# language. That's it. You cannot use my own script. You need to follow the C# script only. If you want to write C# script, use it. Okay? No, or else, if your computer, then you can edit script and you don't have the option of writing your own script. It will go to the scripting window. Then you need to write the script understood by this environment only. Okay? Yeah, why I'm telling environment only means what? You can configure VB script also. If your Visual Studio is installed, J# script, okay, C# script, then you can configure. There are multiple scripts. But ActiveX script, you can select using the either JavaScript or C# script or mobile script. That is what J# script and Java mobile script. Okay? Now the important one is there. What happens if something went wrong? For example, we'll use one separate task here. Okay, I'll use one after this file system task. Okay, instead of file system task, I will use one execute SQL task. Edit. I'm connecting to the same data source. Okay, I'm simply writing one query. Select one by one. What is that? What is the result of one by one? Just one. What is select one by one? Any database. What result you will get? Okay, one by one. What you will get? One. But I'm not loading that one into anywhere. Just I'm using select one by one is what? One. What will happen when I'm using the select one by one, but then I'll make this script as select one by zero. Infinite means what? Does the computer know any answer? Means what? Error. Then what? Error. Or else whatever the script, okay? Then when I'm running this task, what will happen? I got error. Okay? Then, but in the real time, are you going to sit in front of the computer always? Okay, when you are executing, are you going to sit in front of the computer and click that button? We have deployment methods, we can run it, we can know, okay? But in the real time, you are not going to apply or execute this one, but you are going to sit in somewhere. But you need to get informed what is happening with this task. Okay? Then you can use the event handlers or you can directly use it here task by task. After this task, if this task provides any error, means what? Successful I don't care. Failure, I need to know. Then what will I do? I will use send mail task. Means what? I'm asking the system to send me a mail whenever success happens or failure happens. I can do it in two different ways. Okay, like first thing is, okay, then connect it. But when you want to run it, error means what? The green arrow for what? Success. Then right click on that arrow, make it as failure. Okay, right click on the arrow, make it as failure. Now, then when the failure happens, configure your mail task. Remember guys, concentrate here because you cannot practice this mail task on your computers because you don't have the SMTP connection like subscriptions. Okay, now here mail, then configure the mail task, create a SMTP connection. I don't have any SMTP connection, create a new connection, then description, give the SMTP address. Okay, now authentication, then from N8 to okay, like that. Then subject, you can write whatever the subject you want. Okay, and attachment, you can put attachment. Okay, let us see what are those attachment also. Now let me make one more send mail task for success. Okay, here the subject is failure. What is the subject? Then I'll connect to the success. I can use the same SMTP connection. Okay, from to okay. Now subject is what? Getting bored. Okay. Now here, let me run. Then what will happen? If it is throwing the error, it will go to this side. And if it is throwing the success, it will go this side. It got the error. See, it went this side. Not only send mail task, you can write the alternative task also. Okay, not successful. Now let us stop it and make the changes here. When it succeed means what? It will send me the success mail. Okay, then whatever. So this is same thing we can configure not only by creating the task, okay, by using the event handlers also. Let us see how we can do that. Now, let me check the mail first. What should be the first mail? What should be the first mail? Failure. Then next mail means what? Next mail is what? Success. Let us see that order. See, first is fail and second is success. I got two mails. Let us do this thing in a different way. You can do this way also, like you are handling the events, means what? Either success or failure. This is only, but there are only two events, success, failure. No, there are on process, before success, failure, success. A lot of things are there. Let us remove or just disable these things, or no, just enable it, delete it. Getting bored, guys? Yes, because all theoretical. I'll give you the task. Okay, let us go to the event handlers. Now there are many executables are there and tasks are there. Then what I want to do, once any task fails, means what? Once either the sequence container or the execute SQL task. Once the execute SQL task fails, execute SQL task on error, or I can use a lot of events. Okay, on error, on pre-execute, on post-execute, or anything. Let us work on that on error. On error, what do I need to do? Then I want the system to send me a mail. Then I can include the send mail task here. Okay, then configure it. Same SMTP connection. Okay. Like that, I can create one more task. What is that? On post execute means what? Either success or failure or whatever it is. On warning, on task fail. Okay. On error. Error means what? If you get error or task fail. What is the difference between error and task fail? What is the difference between error and task failed?
might be some logic with
Error you might ignore too. If you are ignoring, does the task fails? No. Okay, you can ignore the error, no? There is an option in that you can ignore the errors, or you can redirect if error comes. But you are not, if you are failing the task, it will come to the task fail. But if it is error, it will inform the error, whether irrespective of whether you are ignored it or you are continuing with the error. There is an option is there or not. When the error comes, you can ignore the error. Every task, there is an ignore option is there. Okay? Then you can ignore that error, or you can go through. Then, or else task failed. Means what? When the error happened, task fails. Or else this is for the error happened or not, whether you are ignored or not, irrespective of it. Now, I can use on post execute. Just one more thing. I can use the one more send mail task here. Post execute means what? After executing the, whether it is success or is it for success only or failure? Post execute means what? Whether successful execute or failure execute. Any execute. Okay. Now, then what is the benefit of creating the handlers here? Because you can write the task for maximum events. Okay, not only one event, lot of events are there. Okay, then not only this, okay, you can do whatever you want. For example, okay, while executing before pre-execute, you can take some of the maintenance tasks. Pre-executing this, I want to take the backup of database. On post-execute, still I want to take a backup of database. On pre-execute, I want to take a copy of, I can use a file system task. On post-execute, I can do. Or else simultaneously, on executing, I can do the file system task. Make it ready for the next task. Anything I can do it here, I can play with here. But these things, these configuration will not be displayed here. Okay? Those are only happens on the events. Let us see how those things run. Let us execute. Success. What mail I should get? Post execute. Okay? Means what? You can go on error. Sorry. Is for what? Execute SQL only, no? Yeah, I'm in here. Not from. Execute SQL task. Okay. See, on error, it is not executed. On post execute, succeed. Okay. Then I will get the mail. Now, or else let me make the error here. Okay. Let us run the task again. I got the error. Okay. Now let's go back and see. Post execute, I got it. Okay. Then on error also, I got it. Okay. Then whether it is executed means after executing, whether with errors or without errors, I want you to. Then what is the benefit of using the, here also I can use the, use the send mail task and other task for failure. But here you can use only for two precedence concerns, either for success or for failures. There you can use lot of events on post execute, pre-execute and everything. Okay, on post execute. Like for example, but yeah, I'll get the error that failed. But if I want to know what exactly that error, how do I know?
Capture the error code.
How to? I'm not coming and seeing on this system, no? What is the error? I'm sitting somewhere, I need to get that error message to in my mail. How can I get that error message in my mail? Then I need to enable the concept called logging. What is that concept called? Log. Means what? Whenever the package runs, okay, then I want that process of storing the log information of package execution in a log file. Initially that will be disabled. Then let me enable it. How to do that? Go to the control flow, right click, the first option is logging. Or else go to the SSIS window, the first option is what? Logging. Then select the logging. Initially the logging option is disabled. Okay, means what? It's not selected. Let us go and select it, that log package. Okay, for all tasks. Then somebody has to generate the log file, no? Somebody has to generate the log file, no? Then who will generate the log file? Which log file? Then ask. There are log providers are there. SSIS log provider for Windows event log, SSIS log provider for text files, SSIS log provider for XML files, SSIS log provider for SQL Server, SSIS log provider for SQL Server Profiler. Means what? Logging is the common point in the Windows operating system. Means what? Every application will have its own log. Windows will have Windows log, SQL Server will have SQL Server log, Office will have Office log file. But like that, Windows will have all application logs. You can be reviewing that. Which provider you want to use? You can use whatever the provider you want. Let us use the default Windows event log. Okay, add it. Select it for this package. Now this log file has to be selected for every wherever you want it. Because task by task. Okay, then details. For execute SQL task, for on details, on errors. You can use all the events also. Okay, then on error, on error, on error. Okay, and do you want to physically save this file? Windows event log means what? It will write in the Windows event. Are you going to go and check in the Windows event? Yes, you can check. But I want to take the copy of that Windows event and save it in one exclusive file. Then I can save that log file. Then see, I can use that log file in that is already log file is there. Let us use another folder. Yeah, use the same folder where we created the package. What is the package? First SSIS. Okay, let us create here log file. Okay, the log configuration is done. Now let's execute it. Then what is the specialty then? In the send mail task, sorry, in the send mail task, edit, then I can even attach that log file here. I can send that log file along with the mail whenever the error occurs. Whenever the error occurs, then I can send the log file along with that one. Okay, the log file will go in the XML format or whatever the format you can choose. We choose the default format. The default format is XML. And if you want to view this log file while running here, okay, instead of going in here and viewing it, okay, in the development area also you can see the log file. Just you need to enable the log events. Then you will get one window. Then execute it. See, you got the error. Okay. Then where are the log files? Where is that? See, log error. On error, what is the error message? Executing the query 1 by 0 failed because of the divided by 0 error I encountered. You got the log. This is in the development, and in the real time also you will get the in form of mail. The executed 333 failed 3, sorry, 1 with attachment C, log XML file. Then you can go and open the XML file. You will get the XML parser or Internet Explorer, whatever, or text files. You will get the log message also. Okay, then that way you can use the logging option here to know what exactly happened with the package, what exactly the error happened. Yeah, you can see in the execution results, but what is the benefit? If you are configuring the log, you can configure that file into the emails. Then the people will get the email with the even log format. Okay, what exactly the error got. Then from there, you can work on the package to send the solution. Okay, that is that for send mail task and event handling in the package. Okay, event handling you can do at the package level for each task level. See, you can choose whatever you want. You can do event handling at the package level. Just entire package on error or individual task, you can do it. Okay, now where is that? Okay, that is for send mail task is there. Okay, then there are some tasks are there for maintaining the databases or some there. Transfer database task. What does it mean by transferring the database? Copy databases. Okay, copy database. Okay, before taking the as a package, you want to copy the database, you can use the transfer database task. Okay, we can work on all maintenance tasks together. Okay, in that one. Before that, I want you to know one more thing. Yes, you created a package, but how can you execute a package? Always you will use this one. Always you need to open the development environment and open the package. How can you execute? What are the different ways to execute a package? Command prompt. Then how can you execute from the command prompt? Okay, if you install the bits environment in your computer, okay, the next way to execute a package is you can go to the file location, document, and projects, first SSIS. Okay, in that one, you will go to the first SSIS. There is a DTSX file is there. These are solution file. You need only this file. Okay, this is the package file. Then if your package is installed in your integration services or installed in your computer, then you can simply double click and execute a package. And then you will get a execute package utility. Okay, then file system, then you can execute a package. Okay, in the next window, you will get the result regarding the executing the package. Okay, you don't need to worry. Here you will not see any blue color, red color windows. Okay, you will just see the package program. See, I got some error because that is the error is there. Okay, there is error is there. Then you will get the error. Then I'll need to go back and fix the error. See, 1 by 0 divided by 0 error encountered.
Outside of the Visual Studio platform.
Yes, let's come. Okay, if you are not having the bits environment, still you can open using the tool called execute package utility. You can go to your programs, you will have the tool called execute package utility. Okay, I'll come to the complete outside the Visual Studio. If it is a SQL Server platform, then you can open this studio, then where you saved your package in the SQL Server and file system. File system, then browse that package. First SSIS or first SQL Server? Package, DTSX, then execute it. Okay, you will get the same result. This is the one way. Or else, what you can do is that you can go through the command prompt. What is the command line we need to use? What is the entire command line we need to use? Okay, then you don't need to worry. There is a command line code is there for executing this package. You can use this command. Because why I'm using this one means that you need to go to the actual file folder, then use the execute DTSX. Then how to use this one? Control C. Go to the command prompt. Okay, then you can use DTSXEC and util dot exe. If you are opening this one, you will like, oh, what is that? I missed D. DTSEXEC util. Till DTSEXEC. No, util is there. No, DTEXEC. DTEXEC util dot. What happened, man? Okay, I forgot the spelling. What is the DTEXEC? DTE. .exe. Yes, okay, DTEXEC is there, 64-bit. DTS, the file operations, okay, then I can use DTEXEC and that edit and paste that file path, okay, then started and executed. Okay, then I can use DTEXEC.exe and the file path. See that entire is see Excel source failed validation reports. Okay, I got the same package I executed, then I'll get the error message, whatever I'm executing it. Okay, I can use the command prompt also to execute it. When it is started, when it is executed, failure. Because it got the error. I can use command prompt. Okay, why do I need to means what? I need to copy the for path, no? Then I need to copy the for path using this one also. I can copy the using execute package utility, the entire path. I just copied that command prompt path. Then I can use DTEXEC.exe. Okay, then I can execute. But yes, I can use this package execute package utility, or else I can double click, or I can use bits environment, or I can use execute the package. Then what is the other way I can execute the package? I can use Management Studio to execute a package too. Okay, go to the Management Studio. Okay, then stored packages, file system and packages, execute, where is it? Run package. Okay, I can use run package also from here. See, I'll get same window, execute package. Okay, now like Nuruddin asked, what happens if there is no SQL server on your computer? Or else, yes, I want to, you develop this package here, I want to execute it on the computer. Then how can be done? But deploying, yes, we need to use the feature called deploy. But important thing is that we used it, we kept it on the C drive desktop Excel file here. But do you have the same Excel file on your desktop? But C drive means what? My computer understands C drive. Okay, CL-training C drive. That is the C user CL-training C user desktop. Is that path is available on your computer? a database name. Okay. Then I'm using localhost CL Rust trading server name and database name. Is it same details are there in your computer too? Then how can you run it, man? When the path is not there, when the connection information is not matching, then how can you do that? How can you execute?
Build the whole package.
You need to build it again. It means what? For every computer, we need to build the packages, separate packages for every computer, every server. What is missing? Only that environmental variables are missing. Means what? That connection informations are missing. And remaining package and logic is same. Then for that purpose, you need to create it, everything. Are you guys with me? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing some network connection has been re-established message.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, now what happens when it is there? Then how you are going to manage all those information? Then what is the current information we have? Then when you are executing a package in the different environment or current environment, like when you are using this execute package utility, the next option in the execute package utility is configurations. Okay, the configuration. Now there is no configuration because it is executing on the same location. Now here where connection manager's information is there and the executable options are there, reporting information, logging information, what we enabled, everything is there. But is this information will work on different computer? It will not, because my C computer, C drive, desktop will not be there on your computer, or else my computer name will not be available on your computer name. Because when I'm configuring it, it is understanding my computer name, no? C drive, user files, everything. But is it same configurations are there? Then how can you use that? Then what you can do, logic of the package will be same, only those file information and configuration information changes when you are changing the computer. Is that true or not? Yes, then now how you are going to maintain? Then you need to save the package configurations. Then you need to move the package configuration to the different location. Then you need to utilize it. Okay, then that is called, you need to enable the pack configuration settings. Once you feel that, okay, now this package, then go to the right click, and after the logging there is a concept called package configurations. And this will not be available same way in 2012. Okay, in the 2012 you can go to the package properties. There you will find the package configuration on the second option. Here on the below the checkpoints. Okay, configurations you will find. But 2008 R2 you will find here package configuration. Don't ask me why they moved like that. They developed it. Okay. Did you finding package configuration there? After logging, you will,
Yes.
in 2012, I'm asking. Yeah. Now right click on the control flow window. Or else go to the SSIS menu. Yeah, login. After login, what is there? You don't have package configuration, no? Yes, in 2012 that is missing. You can go to the properties of the package. There you will find configurations. Okay, somewhere in the, either on the top or on the bottom, just browse it. Yeah, configuration in the miscellaneous. The miscellaneous, the configuration, either you can go by this window, you will get the same package configuration organizer. Okay, either you can use this or you can use this. Okay, anything you can go package configuration organizer. Means what? The configurations of your package. Enable it. Then add the configuration file. Then you will get the package configuration wizard. Then it will ask me that whatever the configuration is needed, go to the next window. What type of configuration you want? XML configurations or environmental variables or registry entry details or parent package variables or SQL Server configurations. Which one you want to use? Package XML configuration means what? Every information in terms of XML. Okay, and environmental variable means what? Only consider the environmental variables only. And the registry entries, whenever you install software, there is a registry. Then you want to take. I don't think that deeper information is not required. Registry, yes, some people can consider. And parent package variable. What does it mean by parent package? When I'm using one package as a child and one package as a parent, then whatever I'm using for the parent, I should use for child, no? Okay, that is the reason parent package variable and SQL Server thing. Then I want to use the XML. That is the recommended one and everybody uses. Then store, where you want to store it. Config. This configuration file will be stored with the extension called DTS config. With the extension called what? DTS config. Okay? This is configuration file. Go to the next one. Then choose whatever the properties. In the XML means what? It will give all. Okay, either the registries, properties, environmental variable, whatever you want. Which one? If you want to select all, you can select all. Oh, no man, I don't want to select all. Only connection managers, and that's it. And a system environmental variable. No, I didn't configure all these ones. Only connection managers and executables. Or else you can select all. Go to the next step. It will tell. Then finish it. Your configurations are done. Okay. What do I? Oh, okay, I'll come to. Okay, then if you are not getting means what, you are missing something. Okay, package configurations. Okay, edit. I'm going to the same window. Now here I've selected the package XML configuration. Now whatever the configuration file you can select, then select the path where you want to store. Okay, then next step. You are not getting all these things. This area. You're not getting entire this? What you're getting after this XML? XML also. What you're doing here, in the next step, okay, you need to create it, add. But after enabling, you need to add the configuration file. You're not getting add window? Okay, I'll work on your computer, not worry. Okay, now once the package configurations are created, just close it. You can go back and see in the folder. Okay, there is a config. Oh, I misspelled config. Okay, DTS config is the file. Then where this file will be utilized. Now, if I am executing this package in the local computer, I don't need this package configurations. Okay, but if I am executing this package in the another computer, or then how can you move? Which files I need to take it into another computer? Do I need to take all the solution files? What files I need to take? Then I need to create that executable files or in the another environment. Then for that, then I need to prepare those executable location. That is called deploy. Okay, ready for execution. Creating the files for ready for execution is called deploying the package. Deploying report means what? Creating the report file ready for viewing. Okay. Then here deploy. Then how can you deploy? Deployment. This is the last step of your package. Means what? Everything is done. Every configuration is done. Then deploy it. Then go to the Solution Explorer. Then package properties means what? First SSIS properties. Then there is a deployment utility is there. The deployment utility, create deployment utility, make it as true. Then target folder, in which folder? Under the bin, there is a deployment, create a deployment folder. Right now, under the bin, is there any deployment folder? Nothing. Okay. Now, then under the bin, you can choose your own path. Okay, no worry. Under the bin, deployment folder. Okay. Now, then execute a package, or you can build a package. Okay. Now, error is there, not to worry. Still, these files will be executed. Let me remove the error. Then if I am removing the error, will that file, that values are then go back to the bin? Yes, I got deployment folder. There I got configuration files, manifest file, and the actual package file. This manifest file is called the installation file. It will be used to install the package in the another environment. Okay. Now let us make it perfect and do it again. Edit, remove the error. Okay. Now next. Then again. Then that will be overwritten with the new things. Okay. Then once, if you want to make the changes again and again, then what you need to do? Oh, why I am getting error again? Why? What I configured here? Not saving. Take with me. But whenever you are executing, what will happen? This package means what data will be moved, but you want to execute without moving the data. Means what you want to make sure everything is working perfectly. I don't know what is happening. Maybe slow and heavy processing. Okay. Now, then what you need to do is that instead of executing, you can build the packages. Build means what? It will not actually move the values, but it will check with the errors and the ready for execution. You can actually build the packages instead of you execute it. Means what? Instead of running it. Okay. Then don't worry. This is playing with me. Now, after deploying, then once you deployed, you got the original thing, then go back to your package deployment utility or properties, make it as false, or else it will create a different copy every time. Okay, make it as false. Then move all the three files, the deployment utility files. What's happening? Okay. Then you can move this entire folder into the different environment. Okay. Then after moving into the different environment, you can install the package using the manifest file. Then like your installation exe file. Then click on the manifest file. Okay. Then it will start installation, package installation wizard from one computer to another computer, one server to another. Then go to the next window. Then it will ask either in the file system or in the SQL server. Directly it will put it in the MSDB. Okay, or in the file system. Let us take it in the file system. Okay, then browse where you want to put it. Let us put it in the desktop in the FT folder or not in the, let me create or new folder. Okay. Okay. First SSIS folder. Okay. Next. Now in the next window, then you will have the option while installing. Okay. Then it will ask you want to make the configurations changes. In the another computer, you need to make the changes in the configuration or not. Then it is copying the files into the different location. Then see configuration file. If you are not creating this configuration file, then you will not have the option of changing it. Then change it. What you want to change it? Data source. You can change it here. and the file name, change database name, change it. Then whatever the configuration we used, computer name, change it. Provider name means what? SQL Server. Then the Excel file path, change it. Okay? Then you can type it and change it. Okay? Then you can change whatever, see, file name. Okay? Then again file name and the new copied file name. Yes, even the variables, whatever you use, the query, even query. Forget about that. I can change the query here. Okay? That's the reason I skipped it. I can change the query here. Okay? Then whatever the parameters, while installation I can do all this. I don't need to build the package again. I can change whatever the parameters and every email IDs. I can change it here. SMTP connection manager, I can change it here. Everything I can change it. See, connection manager information. Okay? Everything I can change. Okay, truncating table, truncate table name. Then I can change the query to here. Truncate table query. Everything I can change, go next and finish it. Okay, now go to the first SSIS, means for another computer. Now you got configuration file and package. If I'm executing this one, am I going to get the error? Because earlier the package original file is 1/0. Here I changed with what? 1/1. Am I going to get the error here? Let us see. I'm executing this package. Oh, sorry. Yeah, automatically there. I'm executing this package. Excuse me. Did I click on it? Yeah. Okay, some of the event handles are read-only because I kept it on the desktop. Okay, it is not able to pull it from the desktop file. Those are, but actually I didn't get that SQL Server query error. Okay, I got different errors because warnings of the location. Yeah, locations. Then I can remove those settings and execute the package. Okay, now see one by one. A query. Don't worry about these things because this is general in the Microsoft. Okay, initially we should not put in on the desktop. Okay, then now see that the changes are affected on the new package or not. When I don't have the configuration settings, can I do this? No, I cannot. Now I can execute the package in the different computer. I can change all the variable values then using the deployment utility. Using the deployment utility. Then after deployment utility, whatever the folder comes, then you can move that folder into the another computer and then you can, that is called moving the package from one environment to another environment. Okay. Now I want you guys to practice this. Then whoever didn't finish those tasks, finish it coming days. Okay, you have 3 days. If you have finished, repeat it one more time. Okay, browse it. Then we can actually discuss about remaining tasks on the coming classes. Yes.
Very small, your lecture.
Pardon me?